What is up, guys? It is time for a new tier list. We had a balance patch, we had ZAPDOS being released, and of course also a new ranked season where we went from Kyogre back to Groudon, which also changes the meta a tiny bit, as some Pokemon are better on the Kyogre map and some Pokemon are better on Groudon. As always, we have two tier lists, one for top and bot path, one for central area. Splitting it apart just makes somewhat more sense. Let's go ahead and start with attacker Pokemon. So we have Venusaur first, which currently in path is okay. You can play either Solar Beam or Petal and it performs pretty decently, okay-ish. Also for Petal and Jungle is still one of the best solo queue, carry builds in the entire game. Still can't put a too high rank, as it does have some counters. But it's always a good pick, doesn't matter what. Pikachu is also right, Wood Tackle is pretty decent, but nothing too crazy. Raichu is definitely fallen off a bit, but I definitely still think Raichu is a solid A tier attacker Pokemon in both. With Electro Ball and Thunderbolt mainly. If you play Stored Power, it's definitely a bit lower. Ninetales also. In general, you're going to see attacker Pokemon that have solid CC in this, right? That just are annoying to play against, have early power spikes. I'm actually going to put Venusaur a bit down because it does need a bit more time. Jungle Ninetales. You can jungle with Veil as always, but nothing to be crazy about. We already have ZAPDOS right here, which currently I do think it's still S tier. You have counterplayed now. Before this fix to it, the bug fix, I would say it was God tier. Now definitely a bit weaker. I don't know. I think it's the S tier. Playing against the charge is also super difficult in lane. It does so much damage early game. Yeah. Mewtwo Y is still a solid attacker, right? It's okay. And wait, no, it has fallen off as well, but they nerfed it again. Yeah, definitely has fallen off as well a lot. Maybe down here. Mewtwo Y. And in jungle, I definitely would not play it right now. Mew is always decent if you know how to play it. Just a strong Pokemon. Right here, maybe probably C tier in jungle. I mean, I do like jungling as a Mew, but it's nothing too crazy. I wouldn't recommend it necessarily. Espeon, I feel like, is always a solid choice. Most of the time. Psyshock, Psybeam, Stored Power, can't go wrong with it. Gardevoir definitely a bit better on this patch, but I still don't like it too much in lane. I do think it's better in jungle now than before, for sure, with the buffs. But I still don't really like it much in lane. Confusion did get buffed. Moonblast is pretty strong. But I think it's more something you want to pick later into the draft, maybe. As it's a bit less consistent, sometimes. I think in jungle it's solid A tier now, with the Moonblast buffs. Seems pretty decent. Latios, I feel like, with the Drago Meteor is kinda crazy. I still don't think it's also the best lane Pokemon, because getting to level 5 is difficult, so I'm going to put it a bit lower here. But definitely in jungle, I do think it's pretty strong right now. Drago Meteor does a crazy amount of damage, and also Dragon Pulse is also still very good, of course. Glaceon, a bit stronger on the Groudon map, for the reason that is it's easier to attack people, right? Because less tall grass around, which means you can actually hit your Icy Winds, you can auto-attack to stack up for Icicle Spears, so Glaceon definitely prefers the Groudon map to Kyogre, makes it a bit stronger. Chandelure currently doesn't feel good, I have to say. C tier might be a bit harsh, but oof man, I really can't recommend it right now. You can of course play Flamethrower Chandelure, but be aware that it can be an absolute struggle. It can be an absolute struggle to play. Delphox in lane is always kind of like B tier because it takes a long time to scale. Jungle is solid A. Greninja definitely is, I feel like, a bit better in lane than before. You have more bubble damage, and in general, it's a better Pokemon. But is it better than Chandelure in lane? I don't know. I still have to try them in lane, honestly. I didn't have much time to play Unite right now. I still have to try it in top and bot path. But it's still not going to be anything crazy. It's just a Pokemon that wants to level lead. But right now, I think in jungle, it's definitely very strong. With the buffs, I think Greninja is a solid Pokemon. Sylveon is okay. Gets level 4 power spikes, but that's about it. Decidueye is okay. Also decent on the Kyogre map, Groudon map. Sorry, because in this late game, when you get the buff or 2 defend buffs, if you get one of those, it's very nice. Also, it's less tall grass where you get flanked in. Cinder is also, again, it's hard for me to put them higher than C tier because they are jungle Pokemon. They are just straight up jungle Pokemon. They need experience. And also Cinderace, I think, is pretty good right now. Good buffs to it. Maybe here still. I feel like, it's honestly quite tough to rank these. It's honestly quite tough to rank them. Not gonna lie. Maybe I do actually do like this right here. Maybe I do this. Maybe I do something like this. But Delphox is still pretty good in here too. Oh, it's tough. It's tough to rank this right now. Chandelure maybe here. It's definitely stronger jungler than it is a laner. Well, these are better laners than jungle Pokemon, right? So maybe this makes a bit more sense. Inteleon, still pretty good. Snipe Shot is good. Liquidation is good. Just a solid 8-tier Pokemon. Cramorant, I think Cramorant is pretty good right now again. You can play definitely in jungle. I think a plus in jungle. Might be wrong on it, but to me it felt very strong. Cram, every time I played it, it felt like a good Pokemon. Duraludon is just Duraludon, no one cares. Dragapult, terrible in lane, one of the worst ones you can play there. And in jungle it's okay, but nothing too crazy either right now. Amarouge also just somewhere in the middle, nothing too crazy, nothing too bad either. Miraidon is still alright with Charge Beam in lane and Electro Drift in jungle. That's how I would play, by the way. If you want to play Miraidon in jungle, Electro Drift is the way to go, most likely. If you played in top and bot path, you definitely want to go for Charge Beam. As for attacker Pokemon, let me see, let me double check. Is there maybe a stronger attacker in path now? I feel like nothing's really A or A plus besides, or S or A plus besides ZAPDOS. I don't think so. I could maybe put Mew into A plus, but I don't think so. Again, we can always change the tier list around later on still, right? If I see something else, we can always still change stuff around. Doesn't matter what, so yeah. Now we have our rounder Pokemon. Charizard in lane, awful. Charizard in jungle, decent. Mega Charizard X in lane, a bit better, but also not great, I have to say. Definitely not great. It needs a lot of experience. While in jungle, I do think it's pretty good. I don't know why it has such a low win rate, because it does feel pretty strong. But it does, I mean, it gets CC'd in team fights, right? Gets CC'd in team fights. Charizard Y did get nerfed, and I don't like it in lane whatsoever. I think it's very bad in lane. But still, Charizard Y. It's hard to tell, honestly. I don't know if it's S tier right now or not. Probably still, right? Is it the S tier? What else is S tier in jungle right now? Good question. Good question. I mean, the patch was pretty good, actually. I mean, they did nerf a lot of things that were pretty annoying. Also, like Mimikyu and stuff. So, yeah, we will see. Submission Machamp, currently a meta Pokemon. I don't want to play it in jungle, though. Dragonite, one of the worst lane Pokemon. Jungle, it's okay. Yeah, I'm gonna put it into... I mean, it's probably still ST anyways. Probably. Charizard in top and bot path is so bad, but it's still Charizard Y. So it lost, right? It lost move speed and its Unite. If we check right here. Let me go to Charizard. It lost Flamethrower move speed. It also lost... 11 seconds on its Unite and 5 less seconds of Mega Evolution. So it's definitely worse, but still had a crazy win rate anyways. And right now the win rates are of course not updated, so can't really check how it's performing. But yeah, I'm gonna put it into here for now. Even though probably still very annoying. But it's just 5 seconds on its Mega Evolution is a big deal, right? But it still just flies up. Fire Blast, Flamethrower, does a lot of damage. It's very annoying. So yeah. We shall see how this evolves. Then we have Gyarados, which has lost a lot of power, I feel like. They nerfed Dragon Breath, they nerfed Waterfall. I don't know where I can put it now. Maybe here? Maybe? I think Bounce Dragon Breath is also still decent. It did lose a lot of power, but I think this should be fine. And the Mega Gyarados is probably still somewhere here, maybe here. Also lost a lot of power. I mean, again, the nerfs are covered huge for these Pokemon. They're not too bad. If you look at Gyarados as well. Gyarados lost also Dragon Breath damage right here. This is even normal Gyarados. Dragon Breath got nerfed a bit. But it's not that crazy, maybe. Attack Speed Boost got nerfed, which you might notice definitely. And yeah. Waterfall got nerfed. And also another 5 second less Mega Evolution duration, so it's definitely weaker than before. I feel like there's maybe not much that takes its place, you know? Mewtwo X currently not great, again. Again, jungle, you never jungle Mega Gyarados, you also don't jungle Mewtwo X. Azumarill might get a bit better on this patch again, as, you know, a lot of oppressive things are a bit weaker. But it still probably doesn't feel amazing either. Scizor, pretty bad again right now. Can't recommend too much, unless it's a late counter pick, then you can maybe pick Scizor. Scyther is decent, but also got nerfed, but I still think Scyther is pretty good. Suicune has fallen off a lot, honestly. But I can't really put it lower than this. I think it's still probably... Actually, it's probably still A as well. It's just a frustrating Pokemon to play against. Don't jungle on it. Tyranitar terrible in lane. Tyranitar okay in jungle. Blaziken... Oops, don't wanna do this. Blaziken, in my opinion, is still a great Pokemon, even though it got nerfed a tiny bit. It's just a must-have. I don't know, it just feels like a must-have Pokemon. Especially now that Mimikyu got nerfed as well. What else are you gonna play, right? What else are you going to play? I don't know. That's the question. Actually, making this tier list is not easy. Metagross. It's okay. It's okay. Nothing crazy. Empoleon as well. Just somewhere. It's alright. Into the middle. Can definitely do a bit more. Lucario, I think, is pretty decent. Honestly, normal Lucario. Especially after other rounder got nerfed. And don't jungle with it though. Mega Lucario didn't get nerfed. And with other Mega Evolutions getting nerfed, I think Mega Lucario rises back into the S tier. Something you might have wanted to consider banning. Definitely. And even played in jungle. But I don't know if it's S tier in jungle necessarily. I mean, it could be. You get to Mega Evolution faster. So I think Mega Lucario currently on this patch, even though it's kind of 50-50 character, either the player does amazing on it or they're absolutely useless. Seems to be a winner because it didn't get nerfed, right? Garchomp, I think, is pretty good again. I feel like you're going to see more Garchomps again. Definitely, 1%. Gonna put into A+ in jungle and A tier normal. Aegislash is alright. Nothing to write home about, but it's definitely playable. Maybe B tier in jungle. Do I rather have Aegislash or Metagross as a jungler? I think I'd rather play Aegislash as a jungler still. Who knows? Serena, pretty good as well. Oh my god, I need to stop moving this around, yeah. Serena, pretty strong. In both jungle and lane. Mimikyu definitely got nerfed. I don't know if you noticed, I still ban Mimikyu anyways. Like, it doesn't matter what, I still ban Mimikyu. I think it's still annoying. I think the nerfs don't really matter too much, if I'm being honest. It's hard to tell, honestly, but it just lost a bit of HP, which does matter. Shadow Seek lost 2% enemy missing HP damage, which in the end, Shadow Seek was never used to finish someone off most of the time. It was kind of used as an engage, right? And Unite move also a bit of nerf. Still very annoying, frustrating Pokemon to be up against. So I'm keeping it banned anyways. The MIs ain't too bad. But not a jungler, definitely not. Buzzwole is always going to be a problem, always solid A tier, not a jungler either. In my opinion, to fetch this S tier, this could be debatable, but my opinion he is. Phalanx is always a counter pick. You can pick Phalanx, but only as a counter pick, please. Zacian has always its way and plays because it's Zacian. And this is mainly a... I will put it still somewhere here, but it's mainly a premade character. If you don't play premates, just forget about it, honestly. I mean, you can, of course, play it in solo queue, but it's more like a trio 5-stack character. Both those Shifus are awful in lane. I can't recommend them right now. In jungle, also not the best right now. But honestly, I think Surging Strikes will be a bit better this patch again because other oppressive Pokemon got nerfed, as always, as I said. So, yeah, but maybe here instead. Palmot is quite fine. I do prefer him as a jungler more than a laner because he does need levels and experience to be useful. So I'm going to put him right there. Savage is still pretty decent to me, but also not the best in lane. But in jungle, still quite fine in A tier. Tinkaton. I like Tinkaton. But I can't really put it higher than this. I like Tinkaton a lot, you guys know it, but yeah. I can't really recommend people playing it, honestly. Sadly, I can't. Meowth is still very strong to me. I don't like it in lane much. But definitely in jungle, I think it's the S tier. Especially in solo queue. I do think Meowth is super annoying. Its Unite does a bit more damage, a lot of damage. It didn't get nerfed either again, right? So, definitely a strong Pokemon. Hex Gengar is one of the better speedsters in lane. Still don't want to pick it too early. And easily A+, though. Hex Gengar super strong. Could even be S tier contender. Rapidash is pretty good right now, for sure. Good Rio will always be okay. Put it into here. Absol, pretty bad right now. Not a big fan of it. Leafeon. Yeah. I mean, the fact that these live 4 makes it decently viable. For sure. You're gonna see this Pokemon out in Japan. Japan loves playing Leafeon. And they do very well with it. Darkrai? Where do I put Darkrai? Definitely not a strong lane Pokemon. Definitely not. I mean, with Shadow Claw Dark Pulse, it can actually no, Shadow Claw Dark Pulse is decent in lane. And Jungle maybe here. Zoroark has definitely fallen off a lot. I can't really recommend it too much right now. After some of the nerfs in the past. But it's still not complete disaster either. Talon. I really hate playing against Talon. You guys know it. Painful Pokemon. Its laning phase not the strongest though, but in jungle definitely very strong. And their aura currently cannot recommend much. But I still can't put it lower than B tier. It's still a good jungle anyway. Like B tier, it says jungle Pokemon you can definitely pick and do well on. 1%. Meowscarada currently doesn't feel too great in lane because you lost so much power from not having an XP share potentially lane partner. That's also what makes all these Pokemon much worse than they used to be. Okay, but I feel like I have to put them at, Absol maybe here at least. But I swear they're so bad in lane though. Maybe put them here instead. Yeah, these are like all lane Pokemon you don't really want to have on your team necessarily. Meowscarada and jungle is okay. Nothing crazy either. Alright, that's the 4 Rounder Pokemon. Speedster and All-Rounder. Now we have 2 categories left. Which I will probably go pretty fast through as yeah, we will see. Blastoise, in my opinion, still very strong. Slowbro currently very strong. Lapras is decent, but always lagging a bit behind other defender Pokemon. Vaporeon still very strong. I don't know if they're S tier, but we are kind of currently in the defender meta. Definitely. Blastoise, and you're gonna see Snorlax also here, and Umbreon here. Like, you just have to pick defender Pokemon. Still, even though it's back to Groudon map. Especially with the new item, Vanguard Bell, they're very, very strong. Ho-Oh is okay. Mamoswine also very strong. Trussel very strong. Trevenant, decently strong. But I can't put this many defender up here, but they all feel strong. I can put Mamoswine and Trevenant here. Trussel is more of a tournament Pokemon. Same as Snorlax, but Snorlax is just good. Maybe I should still put Vaporeon into S tier. Probably. Honestly. Goodra. Just don't play Goodra, guys. And Greedent is for all the one-trick ponies who like playing Greedent. And then we have supporters left. Which one are like? I mean, this is always S tier. Koopa's always S tier, doesn't matter what. And then, yeah. Psyduck definitely S tier currently. Wigglytuff is okay. Clefable is very strong. Mime is pretty decently strong. But maybe A tier. Blissey, probably still S. Actually, I think Blissey has dropped a bit because of XP share changes. Sableye, maybe B tier. Yeah, B tier. Latias, I think, is very strong again on this patch. Also with Latios being decent. Comfey. I mean, I'm running out of space here, guys. I'm running out of space. Comfey, how good is Comfey? Comfey is still kind of mid, no? Still kind of like here, maybe. Eldegoss is always decent. Icreamy is also pretty decent. Like, am I really going to just run out barely out of space here? Looks like it. Oh, I can't drag it further down. Okay. I just barely went out of space. Let me, I gotta redirect this a bit. Like so. And then we do this, and that's still fine. There we go. Okay, I think, and we can also put maybe Clefable here and Latias here. I think that fits fine. Eldegoss is pretty good without XP share. Blissey is support still make a big difference, doesn't matter what. So this is the tier list for now. Definitely some maybe questionable positions when it comes to the B+ and B tier. I feel like it's so difficult, man. It's so difficult. I really don't like Charizard Y in lane. I really just don't like it in lane. These are some personal opinions, though, of course. Pawmot in lane, also a big fan. These are like... I think Mimikyu should also be lower, probably still. I think Mimikyu should also be in B tier. And now it's just... Now it's a complete disaster. I have too many Pokemon here, man. Too many Pokemon. It turns into disaster. It doesn't even fit anymore. Right here. There you go. Now it fits again. It's a complete disaster. Oh my. I think Mimikyu has to be down here. Maybe even Gyarados has to be a bit lower. After the nerfs again. But I think otherwise it looks okay. These are just Pokemon that have earlier power spikes, you know? And these are ones that take a bit longer. But, I mean, Mystic 7 also has earlier power spikes, so... It's tough. Between B plus and B, honestly, is not much of a difference. I just rather have more things still matched up. But it is tough. I think Pawmot probably actually deserves to be also B plus. Even though I do prefer him in jungle. I think he probably deserves to be up a tier. Anything else? Maybe Charizard Y is still here. Costly Charizard Y. It's just, once you get to level 9, it's still very strong. Should put my personal hate against it away, maybe. Sableye, maybe B tier instead. Or Wigglytuff in this? I just think Wigglytuff is not as bad as people think, and neither is Sableye. But having a Sableye in your team is still kind of weird. Definitely not a meta Pokemon, right? But again, as I say, everything you see in B tier you can pick. If you know how to play it, you can perform on it. The only thing I would just not recommend picking Pokemon in D tier, in top and bot path, and I would not recommend necessarily in C tier. If you know what you're doing, you can pick these Pokemon. They can be good late on draft or something, right? Just make sure you don't pick them in impossible games, and then everything from B upwards, you can pick if you know what you're doing. And then A plus, and S, you can pretty much always pick them and do well on it. If you, of course, also know what the Pokemon does. Anyways, that's it for the tier list. Let me know in the comments what you think about it. And I will see you all in the next video. Have a good one, guys. Bye.